The Maid in the Box by Anonymous. There once lived a woman called Manido, female spirit or prophetess, on the Sand Mountains, called the Sleeping Bear of Lake Michigan, who had a daughter as beautiful as she was modest and discreet. Everybody spoke of her beauty, and she was so handsome that her mother feared she would be carried off. So to prevent it, she put her in a box, which she pushed into the middle of the lake. The box was tied by a long string to a stake on shore, and every morning the mother pulled the box to land, and taking her daughter out of it, combed her hair, gave her food, and then putting her again in the box, set her afloat on the lake. One day it chanced that a handsome young man came to the spot at the moment the girl was being thus attended to by her mother. He was struck with her beauty, and immediately went home and told his love to his uncle, who was a great chief and a powerful magician. "My nephew," replied the old man, "go to the mother's lodge and sit down in a modest manner without saying a word. You need not ask her a PG-42 question, for whatever you think she will understand, and what she thinks in answer you will understand." The young man did as he was bid. He entered the woman's lodge and sat with his head bent down in a thoughtful manner, without uttering a word. He then thought, "I wish she would give me her daughter." Very soon he understood the mother's thoughts in reply. "Give you my daughter," thought she, "you. No, indeed, my daughter shall never marry you." The young man went away and reported the result to his uncle. "Woman without good sense," exclaimed the old man. "Who is she keeping her daughter for? Does she think she will marry the Mudjaiquis, a term indicating the heir or successor to the first in power? Proud heart, we will try her magic skill and see whether she can withstand our power." He forthwith set himself to work, and in a short time the pride and haughtiness of the mother was made known to all the spirits on that part of the lake, and they met together and resolved to exert their power to humble her. To do this, they determined to raise a great storm on the lake. The water began to roar and toss, and the tempest became so severe that the string holding the box broke, and it floated off through the straits down Lake Huron and struck against the sandy shores at its outlet. The place where it struck was near the lodge of a decayed old magician called Ishquandameka, or PG-43, the keeper of the gate of the lakes. He opened the box and let out the beautiful daughter, whom he took into his lodge and made his wife. When her mother found that her daughter had been carried off by the storm, she raised loud cries and lamented exceedingly. This she continued to do for a long time, and would not be comforted. At last the spirits began to pity her, and determined to raise another storm to bring the daughter back. This was even a greater storm than the first. The water of the lake washed away the ground and swept on to the lodge of Ishquandameka, whose wife, when she saw the flood approaching, leaped into the box, and the waves, carrying her off, landed her at the very spot where was her mother's lodge. Manidoque was overjoyed, but when she opened the box she found her daughter indeed, but her beauty had almost all departed. However, she loved her still, because she was her daughter, and now thought of the young man who had come to seek her in marriage. She sent a formal message to him, but he had heard of all that had occurred, and his love for the girl had died away. "I marry your daughter," replied he. "Your daughter? No, indeed, I shall never marry her." The storm that brought the girl back was so strong that it tore away a large part of the shore of the lake and swept off Ishquandameka's lodge, the fragments of which, lodging in the straits, formed those beautiful islands which are scattered in the St. Clair and Detroit rivers. As to Ishquan PG-44 Dameka himself, he was drowned, and his bones lie buried under the islands. As he was carried away by the waves on a fragment of his lodge, the old man was heard lamenting his fate in a song. PG-45